Hello, coach. You are live.
All right, cool. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you all. Welcome to Prosperity for Your Soul. If you're in the house, if you can hear me loud and clear, please just comment in the chat section. Let me know where you're watching us from. Welcome to Prosperity for Your Soul. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's such a beautiful morning today. I am excited and I am on fire. I feel great. What a great time to be alive today. So, good morning to you. If you're happy, if you're alive, if you're well, please just leave a comment in the chat section. Let me know where you are tuning in from. It's good to see you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Such a great time to be alive. Hallelujah. I feel so great this morning, and I am honored and excited to be here with you on Prosperity for Your Soul on the 2nd of October, 2025. My name is David Inube, popularly known to most of you as Pastor David or Coach David. Uh, and I'm streaming to you all the way from Johannesburg, South Africa. And it's so beautiful here. The sky has cleared. It's been quite gloomy for the last couple of days. It actually rained in September, which was quite shocking, but thank God the skies have cleared and it's sunny out there. We are getting into summer and I am excited. So please do comment before we take our flight this morning. Let me know where you are tuning in from, where you're watching me from, the country, the location. Just quickly say hi in the chat section as we get ready to take our flight. It's going to be a lovely morning, and I'm here to inspire you, to uplift you, to encourage you, to comfort you as well on this brand new day. All right. Yesterday is gone, but we're here today. And it matters more what we do today than what we did yesterday, because there's nothing you can do about your yesterday. But there is something you can do about your today. All right. And so I hope you're alive and well, and you're excited to do something very different to increase your profits in life and to make your life count for something. All right. So, prosperity for your soul this morning. And I'm going to be talking to you about an amazing, I want to call it an amazing subject, right? Because it's something that many of us from childhood all the way into our teens, adult age, it's something that we were all planning for, hoping for, such that even at a young age, you decided to start practicing it. Should I say, unfortunately, right? And this subject is the subject of marriage. And so yesterday, we launched an amazing product with Dr. Nellie Kangwa, something called the Purposeful Love School of Marriage. Something that I think has been, when you look at the state of our society, something that it's actually delayed in the grand scheme of things, right? For a long time, I think there has been need for a well-structured platform where people can come and learn concerning this subject of marriage. And like I said, marriage is something that many of us from a young age, we look forward to, right? That is why, at a young age, you had a girlfriend, boyfriend. Why? Because the idea of marriage is deeply implanted in man, okay? And I think it goes all the way back to our DNA. We were wired for companionship. We were wired to have somebody by our side. And so you find even little boys, little girls, by the time interestingly, I remember my not necessarily school, maybe my early primary days crushes. I didn't even know where that came from, So it's something that has been wired in man all the way into their teenage years. You start looking for a girlfriend. By the time you're becoming a young adult, you start thinking about this thing called marriage. And so it's something that is deeply ingrained in every human being, majority anyway, to want a companion, to want a spouse, to eventually get married. But unfortunately, because of the way society has been has gone and taken structure, you find that there is not much preparation, education, and information being given to guide people with regards to their marital pursuits. Okay, and so it was so exciting yesterday to finally put to finally launch this school of marriage. Okay, and I believe it's something that's generational, something that is needed for our society. And I'm going to show you why in a few minutes. All right. So as I was thinking about the presentation, I remember a statement by one of, I like to call him my mentors, a young, amazing man of God. And in one of a viral clip that went, a clip that went viral online, he said, marriage is a business. Okay. Marriage is a business, and not from the financial side. I know some of you got excited to say, yeah, that's why I want to marry a rich man or a rich woman. No, it's not from the financial side. Business is not just financial. What is business? Business is a venture that you plan for to bring you profit. All right. Business is a venture that you plan for to bring you profit. And profit is not just financial. And so he began to explain, say, marriage is a business. In other words, it's a venture that you should plan for, and when you plan for it, you plan for it to bring you profit. Okay, and this is something that many of us are not taught from a young age, to look at marriage as such a thing. To the uttermost degree, when people think of marriage, especially for men, I don't know about women, I won't speak on their behalf, but for men, the most you think of is on the intimacy side, and yeah, the having someone by your side kind of thing. But then there's more to that venture than just intimacy. And unfortunately, most young people are not taught this when they're getting into marriage. Okay, and so because of that, you realize that is why the venture of marriage is failing for most people. Okay, and so after last night's session with Doc, I sat down and I looked at the statistics of marriage in our societies, particularly in South Africa and in Zambia. Because if you're going to look at a business, it's something that you're going to plan for, because they're investing something into it. And if you're going to plan for it, you're going to look at already existing business. Okay. For example, if I want to jump into the transport sector of business, I won't just rush to go buy a car and say, I'm in the transport sector. I'm going to do a study of what it entails with regards to the transport sector. And so as I began to look up certain statistics, particularly for South Africa and Zambia, it was quite interesting to come across certain information. Okay. And I particularly focused on the divorce statistics. Okay, because I mean, if you none of you want to venture into a business that the majority are failing in. If you see people getting into farming in your area and everybody's failing, you might be interested into getting into it, but you also want to find out why are people failing in that venture. And so when I look at the divorce statistics, it was very interesting. And so this is information that's all over the web. You can check, you can either Google them or go to certain websites like Stats South Africa for those that want information about divorce rates in South Africa. And it was interesting to find out that over the last not couple of years, but the last decade, there has been an increase in divorce rates and a decrease in the number of people getting married per year. Right. And if you're going to venture into marriage and think of it as a business, and the business in terms of something that will profit your life, you must find out, why is there such a statistic? Why are divorce rates increasing and marriage rates decreasing? And so when I look at some of the statistics, and this is as far as they went 2023, they haven't updated the records as for 2024 and 2025 yet. But as far as 2023, you'll find that there was a record of 22,230 divorces in 2023. 22,000. And this is a 10% increase from 2022. Right? This is a 10% increase from 2022. Okay. And they say 42% of those divorces are happening between couples that have been married for less than 10 years. 42% of those divorces are happening to couples that have been married for less than 10 years. So this means that couples that married between 2015 or 2013 or 20, let's put it at 2010 and 2023, all those people that got married that time, majority of them are divorcing. They are not crossing the 10-year mark. And so that means the problem is rife in our generation and not the older generation. And that's a call for concern, right? Especially if you're planning to get married, you are married, or you have children that you know want to get married. It's important for you to find out why. Okay. And part of the statistics are that women under 45 are the ones that are seeking divorce. Okay. Now, these are just statistics. These are not, it's not stereotyping anybody. It's not throwing judgment on anybody. These are just statistics I'm trying to read you because of what I'm about to say. Okay. 55% of those divorces that were recorded in 2023 involved, now this is just 2023. So there were divorces in 2020, 2021, every year there's a certain number, and it's been increasing each and every year. Okay. And 55% of those divorces included children. That should also let you know that it's not just affecting the said couples, but children are being drawn into this. Now, this is just South Africa. When it comes to Zambia, I researched. In 2023, there was 105,000 marriages recorded, right? But this shows a 29.5% decline between 2023 and 2020. In other words, the marriage rate has been decreasing. So not only is the divorce rate increasing, but the marriage rate is decreasing, meaning people are no longer looking forward to this thing called marriage anymore. Now, some people might be thinking, marriage is not such a big deal. It's not something that's such a big deal. But what you don't understand is that the bedrock of humanity, the foundation of any society, is based on the institution of marriage. Everything that controls society right now was founded on this thing called marriage. Every decision that was made with regards to how society becomes what we're seeing today in this world was founded on this institution called marriage. Right? And so it means that if the institution of marriage is crumbling, it means society is going to crumble as well. And we can't just sit back at it and just say, oh, it's okay, and we're going to move on. Before we know it, everything that we've built as a society is going to come crumbling down. Because it's the foundation. I don't want to get biblical and scriptural and spiritual over it, but even just from an economic perspective, even just from a political perspective, marriage is the institution that controls these other decisions that are made in society. Right? And so if this institution is crumbling, eventually everything else is going to crumble. It might not look so now, because when a foundation is destroyed, you don't see the effects of it immediately. You can destroy a foundation today. The roof coming down, the walls coming down won't happen today. It's going to happen in the nearby future. So we might just look at these statistics and be like, well, things happen, but what you don't know is that everything else is going to come crumbling down. Because the reality of life is that marriage affects everything else about one's life. So it means that there must be much urgency placed on this decline of marriages and this increase in the divorce rate. Why? Because everything else about society is going to be affected. I was speaking to somebody the other day who went through a divorce, and I mean, she just said, yo, you know what? Even if it has happened and I've dealt with it and I've healed and I've moved on, the reality is that this thing called divorce is a messy thing. Both to the one who applied for the divorce and the one who got affected by it, it just messes you up. It messes you up emotionally, it messes you up financially, it messes you up spiritually. There is just a way that it affects everything about you. In fact, when you look at most of the effects that are happening in society, apart from divorce rate, when you look at things like gender-based violence, when you look at loss of jobs and finances crumbling down, all these things stem from this thing called marriage. And if we don't look at it, not only will society crumble, but even posterity will judge us. All right? Posterity will judge us. Why? Because future generations, the future is counting on the decisions we're making now. See, without what this thing called marriage and what it entails, you would not have been here. It is the union of a man and woman that brought mankind to where it is today. Both the good and the bad. This thing that surrounds and entails marriage is what brought mankind here today. So there must be much emphasis placed, okay? There must be much emphasis placed with regards to this thing called marriage. And so we launched the School of Marriage. Why? Because we learn how to succeed in business. We learn how to be doctors. We learn how to be lawyers. But we never learn how to be husbands, how to be wives, how to function with regards to this thing called marriage. We never learn about it. Okay. There is no structure that has been placed to say, all right, let's teach people concerning this marriage. Now, someone might say, well, that is why homes are there. That is why people should be taught in their homes. But when you look at the way society is structured, people sometimes, because of the disregard concerning marriage, most people are raised in single parent homes. Most people are raised in divorce homes. So where in these homes are they supposed to be taught about marriage now? We have to accept the reality of things. This is where society is. There are single parents out there. People are living, families have got two homes. So where are young people supposed to be taught about this thing called marriage? And as that was happening, no one was raising an alarm. Very few people were, but they were not being given the light. What they were talking about was not being regarded as important. And so what happens? There was a cyclic action with regards to this thing called marriage. And this is why divorce rates are increasing and there's a decrease in this thing called marriage. So Dr. Nellie said, you know what? Let's launch an actual school where people can come deliberately to learn. Because again, at the same time, for how long are we going to continue blaming the past for why we are failing today? If you didn't grow up in a home where you saw a father and a mother lovingly and they were able to teach you, well, I'm sorry, but now here's an opportunity for you to deliberately learn and take yourself. Because as much as the past determines your present, your future determines your past, your present determines your future. Your future is not determined by your past. Your future is determined by your present, as much as your present was determined by your past. So question is, what are you going to start doing about it now? can it be something we can begin to address now, not just as individuals, but as a society? Because when it comes to the rates of divorce and marriage failures, unfortunately, what you don't know is that it just doesn't affect two people. It affects not even just the said family, but it begins to affect society as a whole. What most people don't realize is that we are intertwined as human beings. The choices that are made as individuals, they don't just affect you. They affect everything and everybody around you. Let me give an example. If your parents made a choice to raise or maybe they divorced and you're raised in a divorced home, all right, what your parents didn't know is that either for good or bad, their decision was going to affect you, and in affecting you, it was going to affect another person. Because in you being raised in a divorced home, what's going to happen is that you were also going to marry another person's child, and you're going to carry that information. Now, how you interpreted that situation, we don't know. But whether for good or bad, that information that you carried was going to affect choices you make with that person you're married to today. So not only do decisions affect other people, but they also affect other timelines. In other words, your choices affect other people, but they also affect the timelines coming. Right. So there's something that we must gather to do as a people collectively. Some of you may be happily married and you think, oh, I don't need this thing called school marriage. And you feel like you might not want to be a part of it. Well, what you could do is that you could know a nephew, a person out there in society that has been negatively affected by the disregard concerning marriage. You can inform them about the school and say, what, there's this thing called school of marriage. Can you go through it? Right? Can you attend it? They've got these services, and every service that we've listed out concerning the school of marriage, it is covering every aspect of society. Okay? Because when you look at some of the reasons that people, when I was doing my research, I looked at some of the reasons, and some of them seem valid. Some of them seem quite valid. But you can make a valid decision that has a negative impact. For example, you can be hungry and you can go and choose to steal. Your decision, it might be valid. You are hungry and you need to eat, but your choice of going to steal will have a negative impact on you. You might satisfy the hunger, but it will have a negative impact on you. And so, in fact, the top reason as to why people are divorcing has largely to do with societal attributes, or rather societal attitudes towards marriage. What most people don't know is that there is a societal perspective that is affecting individual decisions. So people are, like I said, we're intertwined as mankind, as human beings. So there's certain decisions that individuals make, but don't realize that it is coming from a societal perspective. And so if we're going to change the narrative, we must change it from a societal perspective. In other words, we must come together as a community. So when we talk about the setup of the school of marriage, it's not a Dr. Nellie thing, right? It's not a Dr. Nellie thing. It's a societal thing. It's you people coming together and saying, what can we do about this thing? And so somebody has lit a torch. She sounded the alarm. She set up a structure. It's not about her. She's been married for 32 years, right? She's individually, personally putting in effort to raise her own children and ensure that they are raised rightly concerning marriage. But she said, this can't end with me, because life is not just about me. Because if I don't come in to help a young man like David, if I don't come in to help a family, a person out there like Kangwa, like Brenda, like Enea, like all of you in society, all your decisions can eventually have an impact on our own children. And that's something we don't realize as people. We are so selfish in our decision making, we don't realize that our choices affect other people. So on her end, she's been married for 32 years, has got good children. This year she gave her and her husband gave away their daughter in marriage. She could sit back in the comfort of her home and say, oh, it is well with me. As for me and my children, we will serve the Lord. But she understands that life is about society. And if I don't get what I have learned to help other people and set up a school to help other people, this will not help my own children. And that's something people don't realize. Some of you, the choice you made to divorce, the choice you made to impact your marriage, you don't realize that it came from other people's views. Somebody came and told you it's okay to have a side chick. And there you are thinking, oh, side chick, side chick, side chick. All of a sudden, you go back home and you look at your wife. Now you want a side chick. Why? Because of the societal perspective of this thing called marriage. So if we don't come together as a community to say, what can we do to deal with this thing that is disrupting our society? What can we do? Posterity is going to judge us. Society is going to come crumbling down. So the school of marriage has been set up, and it's not a Dr. Nellie thing. It's a you and me thing. It's a thing for our society. It's a thing for our children and their children's children. Because as long as they come up in a place where divorce has been normalized, they too are going to think it's a normal thing. And that's how divorce rates are increasing. Marriages are failing. Infidelity is on the rise. And marriages are crumbling down. So I say this to you again. This purposeful school of love is not a doctrinary thing. It's a thing for our nation. It's a thing for our societies. And we need to come together. All right. So our first product is we've launched a 10-month journey, right? Because out of her journey for 32 years and counseling different couples and different individuals that have either failed and succeeded in marriage and been restored in their marriage journey, she's understood what has been the cause for failure of marriage. So she said, you know what? Let's set up first a 10-month journey. This is a 10-month journey where every month, once a month, there's a masterclass that is being held to come and educate people with regards to the blueprint of marriage. There is a blueprint of marriage. Okay, marriage is not something that was designed by me or you. It's something that we found, and even the people that found it, that lived before us, they found it. And even the first two people that are recorded in history to ever marry, it was not their decision to marry. There was a blueprint that was given to them, and that blueprint was given to them by our Creator. And so this is a 10-month mentorship journey that is called the Marriage Blueprint. And it is for everybody, married, single, divorced, widowed, whatever category you place yourself in. Even if you're not interested in marriage, you can join in. Why? Because you interact with a person that might want marriage or might be married. You interact with them. So instead of giving them your views of, say, me, I don't believe in this thing called marriage, which is the reason why society is falling apart. Tell them, say, you know what, even if I'm not married, isn't it that the blueprint of marriage is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things? So it's not a thing for just certain people. No. So you might not be interested in marriage. At least say, my friend, you might be talking to a single friend that will come to you and say, oh, my marriage. Get the information and say, you know, my friend, this thing called marriage, here's the blueprint. Too many times we give our opinions, and most of our opinions come from an ignorant place or a failed place, and that is why we are failing in our marriages. But there's a blueprint, and that blueprint was given by God. And I believe that this is the blueprint that she used for her 32 years in marriage, and that's not a joke. 32 years is not a joke. So this 10 months journey, she's going to be teaching every month a particular topic culled from God's blueprint concerning marriage, right? Where we discuss what God thinks and what God says, and out of experience, teach you and show you how you can utilize those things. For example, with regards to the topic of roles and responsibilities, there's arguments going on around. A man should, a woman should. And because of that, you don't realize marriages are failing. But what does God say? What is the blueprint? And hear from somebody that has utilized that blueprint from her own success in marriage. Instead of going on any podcast, join the 10-month journey. All right? Join the 10-month journey. Sign up. and say, I want to hear, I want to learn. If not for your own sake, it is for the sake of your children. If not for your children, at least for somebody out there that might want help and need help. Because out of this 10 months journey, each one of us here should arise as marriage or marriage mentors in our society, in our homes, on our jobs, on the streets. You should become somebody that is imbued with knowledge to help a marriage not fail. And so this may begin with Dr. Nellie, but it is not going to end with Dr. Nellie. Why? Because society needs this information. Society needs this journey. So sign up. We're starting in November, the first month. And you don't want to come 3 months after. Start from the first month. So it's a well-structured course that has been set apart. It's a course. You might not have a degree at it, but I'll tell you why. There are people that have got PhDs, and those PhDs have never helped their marriage. It is the information that counts. You might not walk away with a PhD, and but just coming to listen. The way our parents, and we should have been taught in our homes, but forget it. You may not have been taught by whoever was supposed to teach you for whatever circumstances. Thank God for a woman like Dr. who's arisen to say, I need to help people out there that are lacking in this area. So sign up, okay? Don't come after 3 months. Start now. We start in November. So you've got a whole month to look for that little money. It's very little money. The other day I was having lunch by Steers, and I spent that much just to eat. And that food I ate is going to come out. It's junk food that has not even benefited my body in any way, because fast food has got no proper benefit to the body. But we spend so much on junk, on fast food. Why not every month take out that little 300 rands, 300 kwacha, $20, and say, let me sit down and listen to somebody, right, who can help me, because I need this information. So Marriage Blueprint Mentorship, it's on, right? It's on. Let's get on it. Sign up, all right? I'm going to post the link for the signing up on Dr. Nellie's page. Wherever you're tuning in, maybe you're watching on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or Instagram. Look out for the link. Within the next 30 minutes, I'm going to post it up. Fill in the form. Let me add you to the group. We're going to give you enough time, 1 month, right, to look for that little money. But in between then, if you're on the group, we'll be throwing nuggets here just to prepare you. But come November, the ship takes off. We fly. All right. Apart from that, there are other services that I'm going to quickly just read out to you. These are services by the side, because we also realize that some people, they are not being, no one is properly giving them the opportunity to come and learn. Okay. So we have what we call premarital counseling, which is a 6-month journey for individuals that are ready for marriage, right? Sign up for 6 months. We take you through and show you what is required. Not 2 weeks. Some people went for 2 weeks counseling. Some people went for 1 month counseling, but that's not enough. If you can go to university for 4 years just to know what it entails to be an accountant, you can spend at least 6 months learning what is required for marriage. And so the other day I was talking to somebody, a friend who's into events, and she was narrating to me how much people pay just to use her venue on decor, chairs, and food just for a wedding. I said, oh my goodness. Maybe that's one of the reasons why people are shying away from divorce, because of the cost for a wedding. But a marriage is not a wedding. A marriage is not a wedding. That's not what marriage is. People are spending over $500,000 and that's the cheapest of weddings. I hear people are spending over $1 million just for a wedding day. And I say, ooh. But people can't spend not even 5% of that to invest in being educated about marriage. So there's premarital counseling, a 6-month journey. Then we also have post-marital counseling. Okay. Some people entered marriage, and of course, they were met with shockers and their expectations were not met. And that's also one of the reasons why divorces are going on, because people are saying, oh, my expectations were not met. So We help people to say, how can we help you align with your expectations that we're not? Because it's natural. There's no human being on earth who will meet all your expectations, but you have to learn how to navigate that failure of expectations. So we have a post-marital counseling, which is a 4 weeks journey, okay, for individuals. Then we also have what we call marriage refreshment for people that are been married over 5 years. Rekindle, learn how to rekindle the fire. Okay, get you and your spouse and say, you know what, oh yeah, the fire is going down, or what can we do to rekindle ourselves so we can increase our marital lifespan? Sign up for the marriage refreshment course, and this is for individuals. Or the mentorship is group, but the other services are very personalized, right? And then we also have what we call secrets to healing from infidelity, because we can't run away from the fact that infidelity is also one of those things that is on the rise in our society. But we can't just watch this monster destroy lives. People need to heal. Couples need to heal. And so Dr. Nellie came up with the secrets. You call them secrets, because there are things people actually don't know. I read through the material and I was like, so where has this information been? Right? So there's secrets to healing from infidelity. You've been plagued by infidelity in your marriage, in your life, or somebody, before you just tell them, oh, forgive. No, they need to go through a process of healing. Let them understand the impact and how to recover from that impact, because it is a big deal, right? If today infidelity is looked at like just eating food from the floor, like you drop your chips and just pick them up, eat them quickly, No, that's wrong, and that's why people are killing each other and marriages are eventually failing. But they need to understand how to recover from infidelity. Okay, so some of you that know people that went through infidelity, don't just say forgive because the Bible said forgive. No, tell them, you know what, you need to go through a healing process. And the course, the program is only 3 months because it takes time. Okay, it takes time. And then we also have what do you call this, journey beyond divorce. Okay, another thing that has plagued us, like I was reading statistics, people need to know how they can bounce back from divorce. As bad as it can be, divorce is not the end of their life. Okay, you only met this individual 25, 30 years after you were living on earth. Why should your whole life end because someone chose to walk away? Right? You can recover from divorce, you can bounce back, right? So if you are divorced, things didn't go your way, it's okay, it happened, it's the past, there's nothing you can do about it. But we need to help you journey beyond divorce. All right, so we have a 3 months program to help people deal with their divorce journey. Okay, and then we also have what we call healing hearts for those that lost their loved one, to death, for widows and widowers. Okay, the people that from the time they lost their soulmates, life has taken a toll on them. But we need to help you how to heal and move past the loss of your loved one. So the Purposeful School of Marriage, and I love the name. It's purposeful. All right, it's purposeful, and that's what the business of marriage is. It's purpose. It's not financial, it's purpose. So do sign up, do join in. Let's heal society. Let's change the narrative. Okay, let's restore what has been breaking down in our society, in our homes. Let's bring back God's perspective towards marriage, and so we can heal a generation. All right, so thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing every one of you on the group and on the calls once we get started. God bless you. Have a wonderful time. God bless you. And please, if you're married, go and tell your loved one how much you love them. All right, God bless you and have a wonderful day.